Blessed be my witches, my spiritualists, and welcome to another episode of Witch Please. It is I, Odin the Seer, and today I am going to be showing you my spell that helps bring two things together. This is something that I have worked with for a while when it comes to something being difficult, or it's almost like as if it's fire and ice, or oil and vinegar, or oil and water. They just don't seem to come together. Now, whether this be something that you just can't seem to assimilate into your being, there's a lesson that needs to be learned, or there's something that you're struggling with and for some reason you just can't bring that into your reality, or let's say if there's something that you want to achieve and for some reason it just always seems to be out of reach and you just can't bring it together. Again, I keep using the representation of oil and water. You can't bring it together. It's just not coming together. There's always that separation. There's always that divide. I use this spell for this. Now, I do have another spell that I use that is sweetening a bad situation and bringing it together. And if you guys want to learn about that, I'll be more than happy to show you that process as well. But for this one, this is about bringing two things that seem to be separate and can't seem to combine, bringing them together and showing you how to do this. You are going to need a jar. So I have a jar here with a lid. I have a petition paper that is printed on the back of this Joss note, or this ancestor money, gold and silver. I love using this because it's also an offering that you're doing and you're bringing in the gold and the silver. You will need a shot glass, blessed or holy water, food colorings, an oil of your choice. So if you were doing something that had to do with, let's say, love, you would use a sweet almond oil. If you had something to do with health and understanding better, you can't seem to remember or hold that information. If you're a student, avocado oil would be really good for that. If you're lacking discipline and you can't just seem to find that discipline, a castor oil would be good for that. But I'm going to be using a general purpose olive oil for this spell. Now, olive oil is wonderful as a general purpose oil, but this also really does assist in the magical working that I'm going to be doing today. The last thing you're going to need is polysorbate 20. Guys, never ever underestimate the power of sympathetic magic. It really does hold a great punch to it. So polysorbate is an emulsifier. And what it does is it brings two opposite things together as one. Oil and vinegar, oil and water. Just like egg whites are another emulsifier, it brings two things together, it combines two things. So polysorbate really does assist with bringing opposites or something that doesn't seem to be able to come together as one. And that's why I love using this. Now, another wonderful thing about this spell is that when you're doing it, you can actually add to it. And I will show you about that in a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to take my jar that I'm going to be using. And I am going to put in 1 ounce of my holy water. Now again, this can be holy water, this can be blessed water, this can be St. Bridget's water, whatever type of water you'd like to use, but you want a sacred, blessed water to be in this ritual. We are going to pick a food coloring that is conducive to your goal. If you are looking for love, self-love, whatever it may be, passion, you can use a red. If you are looking for financial gain, if you're looking for stability, foundations, you can use a green. If you're looking for comfort, peace of mind, what have you, you can use blue. There's so many different variables that you can use here, and if you know your color correspondences, this will really assist you in being able to make this working specifically tailored to your need. So what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be using the green food coloring, and we're just going to put a few drops. So considering this is already blessed water, there's no blessing that needs to really go over this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1/2 ounce of the oil of my choosing. And as I said, this is extra virgin olive oil. There is a separation between the two. Now we are going to bless the olive oil for a swift absorption, emulsifying into the water, bringing these two oppositions together as one. You want to use something, this is a very thin paper, and this is what we want to be using because of the fact that this is going to actually also separate and it's going to go into the liquid as well. So what you do is once you have these, you want to fold them in towards yourself if you're doing work for yourself, or you want to fold it in towards whomever it is that you are doing the working for. Okay? Now, you need to bless this. So what we're going to do now is we are going to place this directly into the oil and water mixture. The wonderful thing about these joss notes that I was telling you about is that they are very, very thin. They are not like wax paper or a parchment paper would have a hard time separating in this. And that's not what you really want. You want it to actually break down and break down and break down and break down. Because you will shake this regularly as well. And as it starts to break down, it's going to bring forth the bringing together of these two, which are in opposition or parted from each other. All right, and we are going to be putting in the same amount of polysorbate 20 that we did of the olive oil. So, and now we are going to bless the polysorbate. I'm looking at this here and I can actually see a separation of 3 here. Now, the interesting thing about it is that the polysorbate has went to the bottom, the blessed water is now in the middle, and the olive oil is on top. So what I'm going to do now, and I will show you this. Okay. So there is that separation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to shake it. Now, as you can see, this does not look anymore like it would have if it was just olive oil and water. There is a thickening to this, and that is very, very, very powerful. You may be wondering why I left such a large amount of space in here. The reason why I did this was because I want to be able to add to this as necessary and as needed. If I feel like I want to add a certain kind of botanical to it at some point in time, I can add the botanical to it as well. Over time, if this starts to separate again, you want to add some more polysorbate to it. You want to keep on working this until it is one cohesive unit, okay? If you want to add more water to it to make it a little bit more liquidy, that's fine too. The main focus is that you want to get these two to come together as one and stay together as one. And you want to shake this regularly, okay? So when I get up tomorrow, I'm going to be taking a look at this and seeing if it's separated. If it's separated, I'm going to be putting more polysorbate in it, and I'm going to be shaking it again. And as the joss note becomes part of this, what will end up happening is that you'll have gold and silver flakes with the one that I use, which is always beautiful to see, and it just adds that much more power. This is a powerful way of being able to monitor and work a magical spell to get it right, to get it to where you want it to be, the consistency that you want it to be, the way you want it to feel and look. This is a working that is continuous, and once you know that you are at that point where you've hit the sweet spot, you're like, this is where I want it to be, that is so powerful. And you'll notice things around you starting to change as you're doing this. You're balancing the scales. Now, as I was saying, if you are interested in learning how to do this sweetening, emulsifying, bringing things together spell, leave some comments below and I'll be more than happy to do that as well. It's kind of the same process, but there's a couple of other variables in that. And I find that that one is very good if there is a strong resistance, either by you, highest self, deepest self, family members, whatever it may be, and there's a really strong, almost an anger and resentment, you can use this to be able to sweeten that up and bring them together. Very, very powerful ritual. All right, my witches, my spiritualists. that is our episode for today. If you have not subscribed, you know you need to press subscribe, join the Witch Please family, and do not miss out on a thing. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, as well as Facebook. You can always send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below. Don't forget to press that bell icon so you're notified when a new video comes out, because you know you want to miss a thing, honey. You don't want to miss nothing, okay? I said it before, my witches, my spiritualists, and I will say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. And you're always in my heart. I will see you again on another episode of Witch Please.